Hey, this is Flo, and welcome back to Advent of Code. In this episode, we will have a look at the ActionButton package from the SwiftUI library. If you want to learn more about the SwiftUI library, I also have a video on that. I don't know if it's already out at the moment that this video will be published, but if it is, then it will be linked in the description. Okay, so this package just has a very simple reusable button that has three different states. So either it is a normal enabled button or it is a disabled button. You probably know both of these states from SwiftUI buttons themselves. Or it is currently loading and displays some kind of loading animation. Let's have a quick look at the video here on the GitHub page. Okay, so there you just saw all three of the possible states. And it's actually also very easy to use, same as all of the other packages from the SwiftUI library. And I've already added the package to this Xcode project. As you can see, it's just an empty project, so let's get right into it. So first of all, we want to import the ActionButton package, and then inside of our view, let's remove the text here, and instead of that, add an action button. You can see there are 4 different parameters that you need to pass in. So let's clean that up real quick. Okay. First of all, we can describe the foreground and the background color of the button. So let's make it real easy. Let's say the background color is black and the foreground color is white. Next up, we need a binding to the state of the button. So we ourselves need to manage the state, so either enabled, disabled, or loading. We can do that either in a state variable inside of our view or in a published property in our view model. For the simplicity's sake, we will just create a state variable here inside of our content view. So let's just call this button state. This will be of type action button state, and we will initialize it to be loading. And then inside here, we need to pass in an action button model. So let's initialize one where you need to pass in a string, so the title that needs to be, or that should be presented in the button, and then also a system image that should be shown right next to it. So for our loading state, let's say loading, and then 3 dots. And then as the system image, let's just always use the house image. Okay, so this is the initial state. We can now bind to it here in our action button. So just use the dollar notation button state. And then there is this tab handler here, which is basically just the action of the button when it's tapped. So let's say when it's tapped, we want to change our button state to be disabled. So we can see all of the 3 different states. Then we also need to create the model in here. So let's say, thanks for tapping, something like that. And then let's also use the house here. So right now the button is in a loading state from the beginning, but let's say after 2 seconds it will be enabled. This of course would be tied to, for example, a network call in your app. So while the call is lasting, while you haven't received your data yet, you want the button to be loading. And then once you have your data, you want to enable it. Just for simplicity's sake, we will just say on appear. And then 2 seconds after it appeared, we will just enable the button. So dispatch queue.main.async after now +2, so in 2 seconds. And then we want, okay, this is the wrong initializer. And then we just want to say our button state equals dot enabled, and our model will be click me with a system image of a house again. Okay, so let's run this in the simulator and have a look at what will happen. Okay, so the button is loading. After 2 seconds, it becomes enabled. And when I click it, it becomes disabled and you can't click it anymore. That's already it. I think this is a very nice and easily reusable component that you can use in a lot of places in your app. For example, if you want to log in your user, register your user, or download some data from a server. Okay, that's it. And I hope that I will see you in the next episode. Bye.